guys, Sebastian here from greenmusicproductions.com. Before I start, I just want to let you know that I have a new website. I'll put the link in the description, so please check it out if you need any services such as mixing, mastering, recording, or producing. All my rates are there. You can listen to some projects I worked on, and you can contact me there. So thank you for checking that out. Today's video is going to be about Groove Agent SE. It comes free with Cubase 8, and it's a really cool virtual sampler. It's my favorite sampler because it's simple, it's fully drag and drop, and it comes free with Cubase. So let's create an instrument track with Groove Agent SE. So I'll look for Groove Agent. As you can see here, Groove Agent 1 is still available. That's the old version. In case you had some in your old sessions and you want to be able to open them, it's still available. But Groove Agent SE does everything but much more. So once your instrument is loaded, you can click on the little piano button here to bring up the Groove Agent panel. So this part right here looks a lot like an old hardware sampler. You have 16 pads, you have 8 banks of 16 pads, so you have a total of 128 pads that you can have with samples on them. If you ever run out, I don't know if that's possible, but you can always create a new instrument with Groove Agent on it and have another 128 pads. So today I want to focus on getting great sounding drums in Groove Agent without anything else outside. So you can just focus on beat making afterwards, and it's not going to be complicated with multiple audio files and multiple Midi notes to layer samples and stuff like that. We'll all do that inside of Groove Agent, so it's really cool. As usual, you have presets. If you click here or right here, you can load presets. So just for fun, I'll load a random preset. That's pretty cool. It's an ambient kit. That's nice, but I want to show you how easy you can load samples on the pads. So I'll just go on the empty bank right after that, bank 4. So you can drag and drop any files from your project window, from your media bay, or even from your computer. So just to show you that it's working, I'll just drag an audio file from my desktop and drop it. So here it is. It's as simple as that. It's really nice, but my favorite way to do it is to open the media bay by pressing F5. And then you can choose what type of file you want to have in Media Bay. So you can click on Audio Files and search for, in my case, let's say I want to load some kick drums first. So I just type in kick. So let's say I like the snap of this one, but I like the body of this one, or this one right here. And this one sounds vintage, so I might want to layer it. So I want to layer all these kicks to get a big fat kick drum. Which one? So let's say the snap of this plus those two. So I'll bring 3 kicks. Now when you drop it, you have 3 options, as you can see right here. If you choose the first option here, you will put all the samples on the same pad. If there's already a sample there, and you drop it using the first option, it will keep the sample and add those samples to the pad. The second option will replace any sample that is already there by the one you chose. And the last option here, as you can see, the 2 pad next to this one are highlighted now. Because it will drop them separately on the next pads available. So if I drop it just like that, I have the 3 samples I selected on different pads. So I'll just delete them for now. Let's say instead of this one, I'll try this one. So I want to drop them all on the same pad to create one big fat kick drum. So if you click at the bottom of the pad, it's a low velocity, and the higher you click, the higher the velocity. Okay, so when you drop the samples on the pad, the mode will be set to velocity. That means that they won't play at the same time, but they will trigger depending on the velocity. And you can change the velocity of the different samples just by moving them around like that. So it's really useful, but it's not what I want. What I want is to have 3 samples triggering at the same time when I use this pad right here. So you can change the mode to layer. And now I have one big kick with multiple samples. So let's say I want to tweak the different samples to make sure it sounds good. I want to use the snap of certain samples, but not the sustain. If I tweak anything right here, it will affect the 3 samples, the whole pad. Because right now it's in pad mode, but if I click that little button here, it's switched to selection. So it's it will only affect the selected sample. So let's say I put the volume to 0 on those 2 last sample. I can only listen to the first sample and tweak it as I want, maybe. As you can see right here, you have a couple of main tabs, edit, mixer, and options, and you have some sub tabs right here. So under edit, you have main. It has a lot of information under main, but you can also dive in and go into crazy stuff like changing the pitch of the sample. You can also create envelopes like let's say I do this right here. So you can do crazy stuff if you're into sound design. You can create some crazy sounds with that. So that's really nice. And what's also nice, you have an undo and redo button right here. So I can just do undo. You also have a filter section with envelope also. So you enable it by clicking the filter button. And you can use like tube distortion on your filters if you want. So that's really cool. Let's try it out just to show you guys. I'll apply a cutoff with resonance and distortion. So let's say I exaggerate the distortion. So you can do all sorts of crazy things. It's really cool. And that's all inside Groove Agent. So afterwards, you can just focus on creating cool beats. Obviously, there's an amp section where you can control the aux send. If you want to add reverb as aux, you can send them there. You can create envelope for the volumes also, and deal with panning and volume. Under samples, there's a lot of stuff you can do to the sample itself. One important button would be this one right here. It says that, let's say this file here is a really long song that I imported from my desktop. So if I click on it, it will play the whole song and it will be annoying. So I might want to choose no loop. So now it will only play when I hold the button, and it will stop when I release it. So you can change the modes, the play modes right here. So that's a useful button right here. Slice, that's a really cool feature. If you have a beat, I'll open the Midi Bay and try to find a beat and show you guys what that can do. Let's say, sorry, that was loud. Let's say I load that right here. So if you click on create slices, Cubase will analyze the file and render. As you can see here, now I have multiple pads with samples on them because Cubase analyzed the file and cut all the hits into different pads. So it's really cool if you have an old beat or something that you would like to extract, to have all those samples separately. Groove Agent can do that really easily. And as always, you can apply all the effects, the filters, everything that you'd like. So that's really cool. I'll just undo that. So what's really cool also is the MIDI effects panel, because sometimes when you work with drums, you want to create flams or drum rolls and stuff like that. So it's possible to do it in Groove Agent. So if I just set it to flam mode, and you can control the time, you can even sync it to your session, the dynamics. So let's say I want it to be equal dynamics, or I want the first hit to be lower in volume. Humanize, that will apply a little randomness to the hits, so it sounds like it's a human playing a little bit more. And you can do all kinds of stuff like drag, which is 3 hits, rough, which is 4 hits, and rolls. And you can always tweak the different settings. Buzz is kind of cool, so you probably understand what that means. Let's say I set the grip and the pressure higher. So that's really nice. You also have a delay that you can use for cool effects. So that's really powerful. And I haven't even touched the mixer yet, because the mixer has a lot of effects options. Just with these tabs here, you can do so many cool things with the samples. So if we get back to the kick, right now I'm tweaking the first sample. Let's say I like the snap of it, but I don't want the rest of the sample. In the main tab here, or if you go in the sample, if you want more options, you can just drag the end of the sample, the little S here, to make it shorter. So there's a little click because it's ending really abruptly. So I'll just do a little fade out by dragging the white square. So I just want the click. So let's say this is cool. Now I'll tweak the second sample. I'll raise the volume. So I'm getting the click from the first sample, and I'm getting the low end from the other one. That's pretty cool. The third sample, let's bring that in. This one, I want it to be lower in volume because I don't want to be as loud. I just wanted to add a little vintage effect. So that sounds pretty good. So all the filters, the amp, the distortion, the pitch, you can apply them to the selected samples only, or to the whole pad by bringing it back to the pad mode. So that's really practical. But now I have a really cool kick that is phat, and I just designed it inside, so now I can only use one pad to trigger 3 samples the way I like them. So let's say I would like to EQ it. You can assign the output of the different pads by right-clicking on it and choosing the assign output. So there's a couple of bus that are available. There's also different outputs that you can put in Cubase. So if you want to use your Cubase plugin to tweak some stuff, you can always use that. But in Groove Agent, you also have a couple of bus. So let's say I'll put that pad to bus 1. So in the mixer section here under Agent, I have my different bus. I have like 4 panels with 4 bus per panel. So bus 1 is the one that I assign my kicks there. So I can put any effects on that bus. So it's really cool. Let's say I want to EQ it a little bit. I want to add a little bit of low end, some air, and remove some 500K a little bit. Let's listen to the snap. Okay, let's say I want to add a little more snap. So I just EQ'd the whole thing just like that. I can now add compression if I want, distortion. There's a lot of effects like a chorus. Let's say I want to add a chorus. This is a bit too much, so I might just lower the mix to make it bigger. Just so it's hard to hear, but it's making it wider. So if I bypass it now, it just makes it a little bit wider. So anyway, you can do a lot of stuff right there inside of Groove Agent. So your Cubase session stays clean and you get everything the way you like them right in Groove Agent. So after that, you have auxes that you can assign. If you go into edit and you go into amp, you can put some aux sends, so they are controlled by the under mixer tab under aux subtab right here. So you can put, for example, a reverb, a hall. Let's say I make the room size a little smaller, and you can also put some sends right here. This is my bus where I put all of my kicks, so I'm just gonna add a little sends to the reverb. So pretty straightforward, pretty easy to use. I can just add a little ambience. That sounds pretty good. So it's really nice to use it that way. You can do the same thing for snare. You can mix your own sample, layer them, do so many things inside of Groove Agent. I'm not gonna show you the pattern section. I just want to focus on the instrument, but there's a lot of stuff you can do in the pattern section also. Next, I'm going to show you how to assign, if you have a Midi controller, to assign your Midi controller to the different pads, because as you can see, there's a little note on every pad. So it tells you like F3 is assigned to that pad. So if I go under my Midi controller, if I press F3, that sample will play. But let's say I want to assign another key to that sample. The way to do this, if you just right click on it, you'll see that the edit learn trigger mode is grayed out. So you have to enable the little use hardware controller mapping right here just by clicking on it. And now, as you can see, it's not grayed out anymore. You can also assign trigger notes with a menu if you prefer. But let's say I wanted to learn what key I'm pressing on. So I clicked on that and I just pressed a random key on my keyboard. So now it's assigned to G4. It detected what key I pressed on. So that's the way to do it. It's super simple, super easy as always. Now for beat making, let's say I want to create a beat with the preset I just use and maybe use this kick if you want. There's a couple of ways to do it. You can just play it live on your MIDI controller. You can also create a MIDI file right here. Let's say I hold Alt on PC to create a new MIDI file. So you can double click on it and add different MIDI notes to trigger them and then create your beat that way. But I don't like that way of working. I prefer either playing it live, or you can always use the Beat Designer plugin. So if you go on your MIDI inserts of the Groove Agent instrument, you can load the Beat Designer. So a lot of people will knows that kind of layout where you can just click on a little square and it will add a hit there. But as you can see, it doesn't match the sound that I have in my Groove Agent. So the way to have the right names of the different samples is to go under the main tab right here, clicking on the drum mat drum map field and click on create drum map from instrument. So we'll use the Groove Agent instrument to apply the drum map to Beat Designer. So now we have the proper names right there. So let's say I want to create a new beat. Let's say I do something like this. A snare clap. Sorry, I'm just going randomly to try to show you how intuitive it is. So this is a little loud. No. So once you're happy with the beat you just created, you can just left click on the piano note here, drag it on your instrument, and it will create a Midi file for you. So now I can remove Beat Designer and handle the Midi file just like that. So I can duplicate it, tweak it, do whatever I want. So it's really cool, really useful and nice. As I said, you can always use your keyboard to play the drum live and then quantize them in Cubase. So Groove Agent is really nice, really fun. I just scratched the surface here to show you guys that you can layer, drag and drop, mix in Groove Agent so it stays simple in your session afterwards. But you can do so many crazy and creative stuff with it. So let me know if you have any questions. I hope you enjoyed that video, and thank you guys for subscribing or liking the videos. I really appreciate it. So see you guys in the next video. Thank you for watching.